All right, let's talk about something that gets to, well, pretty much all of us. Why is it so ridiculously hard to make a good habit stick? If you've ever felt like you're in a constant battle with yourself, you're about to see a whole new way of looking at change. So let's get right into it. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? That New Year's resolution that just kind of evaporates by February. Or that promise you make to yourself to finally get organized, and it all falls apart after a week. It is so frustrating. And honestly, it can make you feel like you just don't have enough willpower. But what if willpower isn't the problem at all? What if we've been playing the game all wrong? Okay, so first, let's look at why our best efforts seem to fizzle out. We're going to call this the habit failure loop, and it's a trap that so many of us fall into without even knowing it.
See, here's where we get it backwards. We almost always focus on the outcome. We set goals based on the what. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to write a novel. But this whole approach completely misses the single most powerful thing that drives our behavior, and that's our identity.
And that brings us to the absolute core of this idea, your identity. The collection of beliefs you have about yourself, that's your internal compass. It guides every single one of your actions, whether you realize it or not. Lasting change doesn't happen when you chase a result. It happens when you change who you believe you are. Just look at the difference here. The old way is, my goal is to quit procrastinating. That's an outcome. The new, identity-first way is, my goal is to be a person who takes action. You feel that? It's a total shift. You're not just trying to do something, you're deciding to be someone. You're not trying to read more books, you are becoming a reader. It changes everything. And that's the bottom line. Look, you can force yourself to do something for a while, sure, but if that action goes against who you fundamentally believe you are, you will always snap back to your old ways. It's like a rubber band. To make change permanent, you have to upgrade your self-belief first. It has to start from the inside out. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? How do you just start building a new identity? Well, the good news is it breaks down into a really simple two-step process. And it really is this simple. First, you decide. You get super clear on the identity you want to have. Not the goal, the person. Do you want to be a healthy person, a punctual person, an artist? Then step two, you start collecting evidence. You prove this new identity to yourself, one tiny, almost laughably small win at a time. Let's go back to that procrastination example. The story so many of us tell ourselves is, oh, I'm such a procrastinator. That's the current identity. And our brain works to make sure our actions line up with that story. So the very first move is to consciously choose a new story. I am someone who takes action. You say it, you think it, you start to live it. Now this is where it gets really cool, because there's actual science behind why this works so well. This isn't just some feel-good mindset hack. You are literally, physically rewiring your brain with every little action you take. And it's all thanks to something called neuroplasticity. For the longest time, science thought our brains were pretty much set in stone after we grew up, but now we know that's not true at all. The brain is constantly changing, adapting, and building new connections based on our thoughts and, critically, our actions. Your habits are physically etched into your brain. Now, I want you to really let this next part sink in. Every single thing you do throughout your day, no matter how tiny or insignificant it seems, is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. That's the key. Every action is a vote. You choose to do 5 push-ups, that's a vote for I am a fit person. You spend 5 minutes tidying your workspace, that's a vote for I am an organized person. You put $1 in savings instead of spending it, vote cast for I'm financially responsible. These little votes, they add up. So what's actually happening in your head when you cast these votes? Well, every time you do that small action, you're using a new neural pathway. And the more you use it, the stronger and more defined it gets. Think of it like wearing a path in the grass. The more you walk it, the clearer the path becomes. Eventually, that new behavior becomes your automatic go-to, because your brain has literally rewired itself to match your new identity. So, let's bring this all home. We've seen that focusing on what you want to get is a recipe for frustration. The real secret, the sustainable way to change, is to focus on who you want to be. And if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Your identity is not set in stone. It is not a permanent label you're stuck with. It's something you build, one small choice, one tiny action at a time. You are the architect of your character, and every habit is another brick in the foundation. So I'll just leave you with this question. Forget for a second about what you want to achieve. Instead, ask yourself, who do you want to decide to be? And what's one tiny, simple action you can take today to cast a vote for that person? The power to write your own story is right there, waiting for you.